Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now celebrating 17 years of broadcasting success, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com. We're glad that you all could be with us. Also, just tuning in through our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast. We're glad you all could be with us as well. We always are trying to encourage you to go for your goals and dreams, not realizing the impact you can make on others. And our next guest definitely has been able to do that. We're excited to welcome Joi Mebane to our program. Joi is not only the founder of the Look by Joi, but someone who's been able to have a dream and vision for herself, and now to see that being recognized literally around the country. She's celebrating a milestone with her business. We're going to talk to her about that, but also about her advice for others who are looking to go into business for themselves as well. Joi, really appreciate the time today. Thanks a lot for stopping by.
Oh, my God, Cyrus, thank you for having me.
Yeah, the pleasure's definitely all mine. I was just saying to you, one of the conversations I watched, Joi, as I was prepping for your segment initially, you're celebrating 18 years of your business this year. I mean, what has that been like for you to reflect on this journey for you, Joi, and what you've been able to achieve?
You know what? This year we are celebrating 18 years, and not only are we celebrating 18 years, but we are celebrating 18 years in the middle of a pandemic. So, So it has been an amazing journey. And when I talk about, my actual business and how it's changed over the 18 years, I always compare that, for those of you who don't know, I'm in the cosmetic industry. And I always talk about how it's grown from cosmetic to cosmetic. And people are wanting more permanent solutions, and it's causing us to spill over into, like, other industries, like the medical, like tattooing. And it's really, really evolved into a space that I couldn't have even imagined.
Wow. I'm glad you mentioned that, Joi, because one of the things when people, or if they're not following you on Instagram, it's just your name there, Joi Mebane, and what they'll find is even in the description, they're the perfect blend of beauty, business, and tech. So I want to talk about the business aspect first, because I think, for people out there who are looking at you, Joi, and all your success, it all begins somewhere. Have you always known that you were meant to be a boss?
You know what? Back in the day when I first started selling stuff, like I would sell food at school, like candy at school, and sell keychains and stuff, I really didn't understand what it was, like that I was actually becoming a boss. I thought I was just working hard and making money. But so with that being said, I mean, I always knew I was going to have to work hard and make money, and I never was brought up with a name like you're going to be a boss, you're going to be a business owner, even though a lot of my family members were. We were just always taught to work hard. So, yes, I knew I was going to work hard, but no, I did not know I was going to be this big boss that I am today.
Yeah. And not only to be able to do work that you love, Joi, and I mentioned this in my introduction, but to know that you're not only providing a service, but you're providing an example. How does that feel to know that just by your living your life, by doing the work, working hard, that you're showing other people what's possible for them?
Well, it's amazing that I can actually do what I love and inspire people. And not only do I just inspire people, but I make them feel good. And it started off from there, even just providing beauty enhancement services, the feeling that people get when they come and they look beautiful and they walk off with a different walk or they got a different talk down. And, just making their day. So it started off as a, physical thing. And then, of course, you probably got a barber or, how everybody talks to the person that provides their service. And you have to make them feel good. You have to inspire them and let them know that everything is going to be okay. And then after I started doing that and started teaching and realized that that's what I was really doing, I was inspiring. It is a great feeling. It is an undescribable feeling.
Have you always felt like, Joy, that you realized the marriage of not only providing service but also instruction? Because I noticed that too about you and your work. But you're not only selling a product, you're providing a service to them, letting them know the best way to be able to use that product.
Yes, so I've always provided the services like you said, and I provided a little education. But once COVID hit and I realized that I could not actually get to my clients physically, and I actually created that one product, the 60-second brow kit, behind that, and because I was like, I have to educate these people because they can't come see me all the time. And, you know, they might be on a family trip, you know, at work, or they just can't get to me that day. I wanted to show them actually how to maintain the service. And, you know, once you teach somebody, a lot of people think once you teach somebody how to do something, they're not going to come back. They're always going to come back because they're going to look for you as their leader in whatever industry it is. Of course, mine is beauty, so they're, even with me educating, I know that they come back to me first, and that's why I do it.
Right. So let's talk about belief, because I think, you know, there will unfortunately always be people who do one or two things, either tell you what you can't do or tell you what cannot be done, right? How have you been able to surround yourself with the right people, Joy? I think that's another, and I ask that question for our audience too, because for those who may have an idea or a dream, unfortunately not everyone's going to support them. How did you surround yourself with people who were going to pour into you and not try to persuade you not to go for your goal and dream?
Well, I think the key thing in, you know, building what we call that actually a friend portfolio, right? So we call it a friend portfolio, and it's the people, those top 5 or maybe a few more that pour into you and you actually pour into them. So I think the number one thing you have to do is you have to have a goal in mind, what you want your life to look like and your friendships to look like. And it has to be, you have to work on it. It's like tunnel vision. You have to be tunnel vision about who you let in your life. And you also, number 2, you have to be that person. So you can't just always look for people to pour into you if you're not pouring into other people. So that's my philosophy on that. I look for people who fit where I'm going, and I make sure I'm that person for them also.
Yeah. I think that's such a great point. For those who are just tuning in, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. We're excited to welcome Joi Mebane to our program today. Joy is someone who's been able to do what she loves in business. She's also the creator and owner of The Look by Joy. I mentioned you guys can find her on Instagram. You also can find her brand, The Look by Joy, as well, and Joy is Joi on Instagram as well. So there you have some, at the time we're having this conversation, Joy, over 40,000 individuals who are following you online just on Instagram alone. You know, I think the other thing that people struggle with, so I want to ask you there, because even on that page it has you listed as the brow architect. How did you decide on your niche and where you wanted to be able to really make your mark?
Well, I decided on my niche a long time ago. I actually stumbled upon it when I actually used to go get my brows done, and then I started.
Gotcha.
My mom told me, she was like, you can do that yourself. So she hands me, it wasn't the razor that I trained with. It probably was like a box cutter. And so she hands me the razor, and she's like, just follow it, and as it grows in, you'll learn how to do it. And, you know, I always work with my hands, so it came naturally to me. And then one of my friends, she was like, could you do mine? And I was like, yeah. And so I did hers. Needless to say, we're still friends to this day. So I did a good job. And, you know, it just came to me like I did it on drill team. Then when I got to college, that was my, like, little side hustle. I did eyebrows, and I had my own brow booth in my dorm. And so it actually just was, gifted to me as a niche. And then I started working in the salon. And it was even before doing eyebrows were really cool. So right now it's a cool thing to do eyebrows and lashes, but it was before it was even cool, and I had lines out of the door. And even as a master cosmetologist, I like dealing with people, but I like the time length of doing the eyebrows because it was quick, you know.
Gotcha.
So back in the day, you could do a shampoo set. It was $25. but I was charging $10 for eyebrow art, so I was like, I could do five or six of these in an hour. So that was a no-brainer for me, and it was less it was less expensive, and it was quick. So I liked it. I like doing brows. It's like my little artistic thing. They shape the face, and guess what? Guess why the eyebrows are so important right now?
You tell me.
Because they're the only thing you can see with the mask on.
Got you.
Nothing else.
That is a good point. That is a really good point. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joy.
No, I was going to say it was a good choice because right now that's all you can see.
Right. No, I was just going to say your personality even comes through in this conversation. So I know your clients love just being able to hang out with you. So I want to talk about that because you're not a one and done. You are someone who has built up, a clientele. Word of mouth is a big part of what you're able to do as well. Do you still have those wow moments when you kind of look at how this all started and where you are today?
You know what? It is. Yes, I do still have wow moments. Like when I do look back, and I'm like, you really did that. And I think one of the most, like right now, I'd probably say in the past 5 years, I really started doing a little bit, taking more classes on business as opposed to just taking more continuing education classes with my craft, because when I was actually in school, I actually dropped out of business school to start my store. And I was, and when I think back, I'm like, I did all of this with no formal training. Like it was just innate, like it was trial and error. I did not give up. Cyrus, I messed up a lot of stuff. I ain't gonna say I didn't. But it didn't stop me. Like I messed it up, I fixed it, I messed it up, fixed it again, messed it up 4 more times, tweaked this, and it just became, I just made my own formula with no formal training. So I was like, yeah. I am wild. When I look back, I was a child doing that. So I think it's that still wows me myself till this day.
Exactly. Well, we began this conversation, Joy, by talking about you're celebrating 18 years this year, even in the middle of a worldwide pandemic. But talk to us about what's to come. What are you looking forward to?
Being in business for 18 years, we've been through ups and we've been through downs. But what I'm looking forward to mostly is the pivot. So we talk about we'll talk about more of the tech piece of this. I want to get more into the online sales. I want to get more into the online influence, and that way I can reach more people, because right now it is a time for pivot. So even though they're trying to sell us like they're letting off of a pandemic, but it's still about 80% of the people that still haven't come outside, and then most of those people. And even you probably can attest to this yourself, you've gotten so used to doing stuff remotely or now doing stuff from home or just doing it yourself that like it's the new normal now. Like I had got so used to ordering my groceries from Instacart. I went to the grocery store one day and was lost. I was like, how do I pay for this stuff? They was like, ma'am, the checkout is that way. That's right. I got it. And so, a lot of people have gotten so used to doing stuff remotely, and which is good because it saves a lot of time. But I look forward to pivoting, innovating, and being a part of the future waves in beauty and business.
Yeah. And with that being said, then, Joy, I want to ask you, I mentioned I was going to ask you about advice. I'm sure people ask you this question all the time. What do you normally tell them when it comes to pursuing an idea? What do you normally tell them about the process?
Well, as far as pursuing an idea or executing the steps of our idea, my friends in my friend portfolio will say that I am the ultimate executor. They as soon as I say I'm going to do something, they just move out the way, because I am like I got to do it now. Like, it's either now or never with me. So I would tell people that success loves speed. If you're going to do something, do it now. It doesn't matter if you mess it up. And in the back of my little twisted mind, I'm thinking, I would go ahead and rather mess it up today than 6 months from now. So that way, by when I get to the 6 months, then I've already fixed it and I can move on ahead. I'm not going to be hesitant about messing something up or learning something as I really, really see it. So success loves speed, and just go ahead and execute it. You got to be an executor.
Such a great point. And hearing it from someone who definitely knows, Joi Mebane, everyone, has been our guest. She's an individual who's been able to not only build her own brand when it comes to the look by Joi, but also set by example what it takes to be successful and to have longevity. So, Joi, how can our audience stay connected with you and keep up with what's coming up?
Oh, well, great, guys. You have to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'm on all social media platforms as The Look by Joi, and my name is spelled Joi. And, of course, if you want to sign up for any of my class or you want to purchase my 60-second brow kit, you can go on to www.thelookbyjoi.com, and it's spelled Joi. And I like to tell everybody, don't let nobody steal your joy.
Yeah, such a great thing. Joi, really appreciate you taking out this time. It means a lot for you to stop by the program today, and looking forward to our next conversation together.
Yes, anytime. I'm so glad you guys had me.
Hey, glad to do it. I want to definitely thank our good friend, Zach Tepperman, for setting up this conversation with us for today, and thank all of you for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.